Getting into Lord Abel's chamber, Mash is met by a disturbing sight. Seeing him, Lord Abel commends Mash for surprising him. While Mash wonders how he has done that, Lord Abel mentions Abyss' name. He states that he had thought Rain was the only student capable of facing Abyss' evil eye. Since Mash does this, he is definitely surprised. He, however, finds it hard to believe that Mash is a better magic user than Rain, who is a divine visionary. On a second thought, he wonders something else. This thought seems like it would be a problem for Mash, who hopes that his secret has not been found put. Seeing him react this way, Lord Abel seeks to know what is wrong, but he states that he is okay, and asks him to continue. Going further, even after all he said, Lord Abel commends Mash, referring to him as being capable. He feels this sole reason should be enough for someone as superior as him to understand that the world does not treat everyone equally. Hearing all this, Mash remains silent. Then, Lord Abel reminds him of their beastly natures which he had mentioned to Mash before. He clearly states that he cannot abide by inferior genes, since they are on the receiving end and take advantage of the kindness rendered to them, further exerting their rights. This, he finds to be audacious, seeking Mash's opinion. But the latter continues to be silent. Lord Abel further tries to convince him to let go of the weak, which he refers to as useless luggage. However, Mash assumes that the weak are those who don't have magic. Since that's what Mash's definition of the weak is, Lord Abel agrees, stating that they must dispose of them. Hearing this, Mash is shocked to his bones. Meanwhile, Lord Abel thinks merely segregating those without magic from society is too kind, and intends to change that system. His reform extends to the underachievers and those who shelter the weak. To Mash, there is only one person who comes to mind in all of this. That happens to be his father. This causes him to think about the time when he was a baby. At the time, his father referred to him as a good and honest boy. Also, after witnessing him do a double back somersault at a very tender age, his father is shocked to the bones. Later on, he remembers when he had his first cream puff, which was offered to him by his father. At that time, his father got angry because he had eaten it before being told to do so. However, this didn't stop his father from being proud of him. Back to the present, Mash evaluates his thoughts. He bluntly tells Lord Abel that his way is a problem. Due to this, he doesn't think they should be friends. On the other hand, Lord Abel feels offended by this. He is disappointed that Mash doesn't understand all that he has said, and refers to him as being dense. Since he has proven to be an inferior gene, Lord Abel feels he should be eradicated. This causes him to release a batch of puppets on Mash. While this is going on, Love approaches the hall, and is pretty exhausted. Seeing the doors to Lord Abel's chamber open, she takes a peek and sees the puppets approaching Mash. Immediately, she hides herself. The sight of Lord Abel and Mash fighting seems terrifying for her, and she thinks she has arrived at a bad time. When the dolls approach Mash, he punches one and sees a yellow substance come out of it. Fortunately, he is able to dodge it, preventing it from touching him. Just then, Lord Abel reveals that the dolls have acid in them, sarcastically telling him to be careful. With this new information, Mash grabs the head of the dolls he had punched earlier. Seeing him do this, Love wonders what he intends to do with this. Then, he uses the head as a bowling ball, eradicating the dolls without having to come close to them or touch them. This shocks the hell out of Love as it leaves her mouth wide open. Meanwhile, after doing this, Mash reminds Lord Abel about inferior genes which he mentioned earlier. He seeks to know if it would mean Lord Abel has inferior genes if he beats him. Lord Abel finds this insulting and basically tells him to shut up. Ignoring this, he seeks to know what Lord Abel has done with Lemon. Hearing this name, Lord Abel seems to have no idea about who he is talking about, especially since all he claims to be doing is receive magic power from everybody. This sounds pretty bothersome to Mash, who clearly informs Lord Abel that everyone is sick about this. Not minding this, Lord Abel reminds him of the belief that the strong take from the weak. Shortly after, he sends in his large clown dolls to attack Mash, assuming that Mash cannot stop them. Due to this, he mocks Mash for being at the skill level he is. Watching the dolls approach Mash, Love believes it is over. However, she is surprised to see Mash lunch all the dolls, destroying them in the process. Seeing him do this, Lord Abel realizes that Mash has grown since the last time they met. Suddenly, Mash reminds him about his saying about the string taking from the weak and assuming it's their right. Having clarified this, he clearly demands that Lord Abel tells him where Lemon is when he wins. This meant he was so sure he would win. Watching him exhibit this much confidence scares Lord Abel, but he keeps his cool. Love, on the other hand, gets scared and contemplates returning home. Eventually, she decides to stay back. Back to the fight, Lord Abel realizes that Mash isn't all talk, and the latter thanks him for realizing this. After that, Lord Abel starts to control Mash's body, forcing to deliver punches to himself. As much as Mash tries to fight it, Lord Abel had placed imaginary strings on him, causing him to lose control of his body. This led to Mash strangling himself. Since the fight was becoming one-sided, Lord Abel stops this. Instead, he reveals Mash's friend, Finn, who has now become a puppet. He reveals that he had captured Finn earlier because he felt Finn would make good entertainment. He claims that he had left Dot since he was too badly injured to be useful. Directing the puppet Finn to fight Mash, he hopes this would be an interesting show. Immediately, Finn charges at Mash and the latter blocks his attack. Seeing this, Lord Abel instructs Mash not to lift a finger or attack. He threatens to break Finn apart if Mash breaks the rules. Hearing this, Mash realizes just how petty Lord Abel is. When he mentions this, Lord Abel lets him do what he wants, since this could lead to him breaking his friends apart. He is contented with the fact that, if Mash doesn't do this, then Finn would do it. Since Mash cannot destroy his friend, he chooses to sacrifice a few hits. This causes Finn to land powerful punches and hits, while Mash takes it and not able to do a thing. Eventually, Finn hits him powerfully with the axe in his hands, causing him to fly in a distance. However, when Mash lands firmly on the ground, Lord Abel is shocked. He is more shocked to see that the axe Finn had used to hit Mash had been broken. At this moment, Mash mocks Lord Bake for thinking he is a deep person. Hearing him say this, Love believes that war is on, as this gets Lord Abel angry. Just then, he brings out the gold coin he has in his jacket. He asks Lord Abel if he still wants it, and the latter assumes he has finally decided to give it up. Meanwhile, Mash forcefully flips the coin, causing it to cut the threads controlling Finn. This causes Finn to be restored to his human self. Mockingly, Mash apologizes, stating that the coin just likes him. Tired of all Mash's games, Lord Abel decides to end this once and for all. He strings Mash up, aiming to control him. However, when Mash starts to struggle, he is confident that humans cannot resist his magic, and refers to Mash as just another puppet. While Mash doesn't seem to bother about what he is, he intends to make Lord Abel regret lashing out at his friends. He struggles his way out of the strings, one at a time, breaking Lord Abel's fingers in the process. Without wasting much time, he charges at Lord Abel and kicks him heavily in the face. While in the air, Lord Abel is forced to use a spell he didn't plan to. This spell transforms Mash into a doll. While Mash transforms, Lord Abel states that he is impressed that the former made him cast this spell. However, since he had been put in a situation of survival of the fittest, he believes the weak like Mash should be the prey. With Mash fully transformed into a doll, Lord Abel walks up to him and searches his jacket to find the gold coin he had kept there. Surprisingly, he doesn't find the gold coin, but finds the cream puff Mash had kept there earlier. Immediately after finding this, Mash punches him and grabs his cream puff. He wonders how the cream puff had found its way into this jacket. After being punched, Lord Abel is left wondering how Mash was able to free himself, especially after fully transforming into a puppet, since his puppet magic blocks electric signals from the brain and causes voluntary physical movement to stop. He believes Mash shouldn't have been able to move. The only reasonable explanation to this is a spinal reflex. This happened to be the instinctive reaction to stimuli. In this case, Mash had unconsciously reacted to the cream puff being taken from him. Apparently, hanging on to the cream puff was so important to him, and this surprises Love as much as it surprises Lord Abel. Since his previous spell does not work, Lord Abel decides to extract magic power from his dolls and use the magic power to initiate what he regards as the ultimate spell. With this, he creates a harm puppet which turns everyone with a 100 meters radius into a puppet. However, the transformation into a puppet will begin the moment a person is touched by the invincible strings. When the strings are released, they pour down on the ground, making it hard for Mash to avoid them. This gives Lord Abel the confidence that he has finally defeated Mash. He is, however, surprised to see that the hands of his harm puppet has been pulled away. Looking closely, he realizes that Mash had pulls off the hands of the puppet. While we wonder what happened, Love, who witnessed this, lets us know. She states how shocked she was to see him balance his body in anticipation of the strings. This caused him to feel the strings impact on a part of his body. When this happened, he was able to know where the strings were and grabbed them immediately, pulling them out. After all that, he punched the harm puppet in the face. When Lord Abel realizes that he has been defeated, he is reminded of the story of his mother and how she was killed by the same people she always offered help to. Since he had done all this for his mother, Mash doesn't think Lord Abel is a bad person. He decides to spare him, but still demands that he releases Lemon as they had agreed. Due to Mash's victory, Lord Abel decides to release not just Lemon, but every other student he had turned into dolls. At that moment, Lemon is released, and seeing her Finn is very excited. The three spend their time screaming for joy, and Lord Abel regards them as fools for this. However, they realize that Lance is nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Lance is pretty occupied with tracking a bad person who had taken the form of a student. When he challenges her, he realizes that she is a member of Innocent Zero, a dark magic organization working in the shadows. She reveals that they had sent Lord Abel to find someone, and since he had failed to do so, they intend to kill him. When he seeks to know who they seek, she fails to reveal any information to him. While trying to stop her, Lance is stopped by a serial killer and cannibalist named Jean-Pierre. Looking at him, Lance realizes that his power is similar to that of a divine visionary, making it hard to fight him. On the other hand, his friends are excited about Dot being okay and are unaware of what is coming for them. If you like this recap, do let me know in the comments, and obviously leave your like too. Do not forget to share with your friends and subscribe. Above all, activate your notification bell so you don't miss the next episode when it drops. Until next time, do take care and stay safe.